Hi, it's morning here in Brighton, and today I thought I would just jump on and talk a little bit about menopause symptoms. They can be very different for every single person. So I thought what I would talk about would be the ones that I've experienced, and then I can also mention a few others that I haven't. So, one of the first things that I started to notice before I went on HRT was having really sore, tender boobs to the point that, if I banged them or my daughter jumped up on me, it was like, oh my God, this is so painful. So that was one of the first things that I started thinking, and then night sweats. So full on head to toe, like dripping wet, like having to whip my covers off, being boiling hot. Then after that, I think some hot flushes that would kind of happen throughout the day. So just again, you'd be sitting chatting to your pal or I'd be working and I'd be like, really sorry, I just need to whip my top off. So yes, that was definitely two quite major ones for me. And then the other day I spoke about sleep as well. Sleep is still something that I feel like I get a lot less of and a lot less better quality. Yes, definitely sleep seems to be one of the biggest ones that people talk about, and definitely that has been the case for me. And sometime later, I will talk about some sleep hygiene and things to do that can just help things along with getting a little bit more quality and better sleep. And another massive one, which came out of that I had never suffered from before, I've had migraines that are really full on. So, never ever having had suffered from headaches before, I get the cream of the crop, full on, big, hemiplegic migraine was what they said that I had. So, it was mental. It presented almost like a stroke. I did end up in hospital overnight because I couldn't see properly through my right eye. I couldn't communicate, couldn't get my words out, tingling on the right hand side and numbness in my tongue. Yeah, it was really, really full on and very scary at the time because I was like, oh my God, I'm just having a stroke. I just can't get my words out. I can't communicate. I can't, I feel awful and a really horrendous headache. And then another friend of mine who I hadn't seen for a little while, I've seen her like, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, and exactly the same thing happened to her. And it's really weird because both her and I have had quite a similar journey with regards to having a subtotal, having hysterectomies due to fibroids and endometriosis. And then we both have had, I think she's only had one or two of the episodes. I've had quite a few of them, and a really full on one that I had last summer, which I can talk about that another time. But yes, so, and then other symptoms for me that I've struggled with are hair. My hair is nothing like it used to be. I mean, I've never had thick hair. I've always had thin hair, but a lot of it. But just looking down the plug hole in horror as my hair was going down the plug hole. And just like the quality of it as well, just a lot, I never ever had lank or greasy hair. But, I washed my hair yesterday and then by today it starts to get, like greasy. So that's really, really annoying. And again, I can give some tips of things to try, but really, there's nothing that I have found that has made a massive amount of difference. So yeah, that's fun. And then I've also had some skin issues as well. So just sometimes the texture, the dryness of my skin has changed. You just notice, that these things happen and you're just like, what the hell next? Oh yeah, brilliant, it's my skin. And then of most recent for me has been digestive, having periods of time where I've got such bad diarrhea that I'm like, what is going on? Like, I can only put these changes down to menopause. I have been on a real journey over the years with food and cutting out gluten due to rheumatoid arthritis and autoimmune issues. So it's almost like things that I have been eating for a long time I'm suddenly becoming a bit more sensitive to. So at the moment I'm waiting on some results for them to check my thyroid because I've had thyroid issues in the past. So I'm just hoping that that's not the case, and that's, because thyroid is another hormone, all the hormones are controlled by the pituitary gland. So I'm just thinking, is this another hormone thing happening? So yes, there are many, many symptoms, the symptoms that people don't talk about and the symptoms that you don't even put down to are because of the menopause. So yeah, digestive, a friend of mine who suffers incredibly from like bloating. She's like, my stomach's massive. She's so healthy, like what she eats, and she's puts most people to shame, and she, shouldn't have this excess weight around her mid area and her hips and thighs, but since the menopause she just finds it almost impossible. So yeah, she's experimenting with lots of things, so maybe one day I'll have her on because I think she's finding what she's doing at the moment is really helpful. Then other symptoms that I haven't had are things like, people talk about vaginal dryness, because again the hormone causes these changes within the vagina, and then people start to experience dryness. Then obviously things like pelvic floor is another kind of like massive one. My pelvic floor was fairly good because I'd always taught and done yoga, but then after my hysterectomy and after them cutting through my stomach muscles, then that all changed and that felt a lot weaker. So since I've been doing reformer Pilates, I feel like it's massively, massively helped and has made a really big difference. So there are lots of things that you can do exercise wise that can improve that. So that's just some of the things that I can think of the top of my head that menopause can, that you can get these symptoms during the menopause. So just sometimes just pausing to think about, what am I experiencing in my body, and could this be because of the menopause, and do a bit of research. And I think you'll be quite surprised to be like, oh my God, yes, it's just another unknown menopause symptom, because it affects nearly all the body systems. So of course it's going to have a knock-on effect of something else. So yes, I just thought I would share that just in case there's anybody out there that just doesn't recognise the main symptoms, but then some of the lesser symptoms that we don't hear about. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. I hope that you have a beautiful day and a peaceful day and a blessed day. Lots of love.